You see, my brother, I want to define. I'm a guy who likes to define words, as you know, right? I love defining words, but more than that, I love doing etymological derivation of words. And I know it's not always accurate, but it gives me an idea of what the school of thought was behind words. The word matrix, you see, in mathematics or in computer programming, we use the word matrix a lot. We call them matrices. And a matrix is really just a way to organize elements. And you know what an element is? An element is a unit of an array, or of it's an array, different types of data types, right? Each unit is called an element. And then in mathematics, it's usually numbers, right? So you'll have a matrix, it's a row by a column. So it could be a matrix of 2 rows by 5 columns or something like that. And sometimes they are organized in terms of key value pairs, right? So that's what a matrix is. It's an organized array or list or group of numbers. It's a way to organize numbers in mathematics and science. But also the etymological origin of the word matrix comes from mater or matre, which is a word that meant womb, but originally it means mother. Mater, mother. In the sense that it's an environment that contains something. It could be a physical environment, like the actual womb, or it could be a virtual environment, like your mind or your perception of reality. That's a matrix. So when people talk about a matrix, it's in both senses, physical and metaphysical. And it's as real as the day itself. So the reason why I'm defining what a matrix is because we will talk about programming and how we are programmed and how we've always been programmed. Human beings as a species are very complex and very incredible, but we can be easily controlled. It can be very hard to control us, but it can also be easy to control us, especially when we don't know that we're being controlled. So when people know the right way and the right places to push, the right buttons to press, they can easily exert control and influence, whilst keeping people believing that they are not in control at all. So the matrix now and the programming form part of our daily experience. We are all in some kind of matrix. I've said this before, that you are in some kind of matrix. Now the problem is, whose matrix is it? Is it a matrix that you decided for yourself that, look, I'm going to impose this kind of programming to myself for this particular goal? Because you can do that, and you should do that. If you want to lose weight, you have to be in some kind of perception, in some kind of understanding, in some kind of matrix. And you program yourself to wake up early, you program yourself to cut off some foods, to add some foods, to do this and do that. That's a kind of programming. It doesn't have to be permanent. It could be only for a certain period of time, so that you can achieve results. That's the beauty of human nature. You can program yourself. But what if this programming is subtle? You don't easily notice it. And it's by a different party, not yourself. Now it can get dangerous. And that's where we find ourselves as human beings today. Now I'll take you through daily activities that we don't even notice. That from the very wording that's used, may ring a bell if you start to think about it. One of the most powerful tools of programming that humans possess is the eyes. The eyes are like windows, right? Or screens, or interfaces. You don't really see with your eye, you see through your eye. The eye allows your mind to see. It's the mind that actually sees.
It's like you are inside a house.
Exactly.
Looking through the window.
Absolutely. So this is a host. You are inside that host. So if you treat this host well, you're a good parasite. But then if you're destroying this host through smoking, drinking, and all other sort, lack of sleep, lack of exercise, you're a bad parasite. So now, your eyes, which is an interface, allow you to interact with the outer world, out of your body. But then you are actually an energy. You are an awareness. You are a consciousness, right? A collective of data. an electromagnetic being that's constantly vibrating with energy. And you are having this particular experience at this point in time. But you're not necessarily detached from your environment. You are your environment. You are the matrix. You are the matrix. And now it is within your power to understand that. Instead of pointing to an external source, the source is inside. And that's why I've been saying that people need to start to turn inward and actually realize that the real matrix is inside. Now, what if now, I understand that you are the matrix. You are the reality. But you don't understand that. And I can benefit from your lack of understanding of that. I can get richer. I can get more powerful. I can get more control. I can literally have you live and do all the hard stuff for me whilst I continue with playing with your perspective. Whilst I continue perpetrating a false narrative. I can easily tell you that there's a virus somewhere that's going to kill you. Whether you see it or not is irrelevant. When I press the right buttons, you will believe there's a virus. That's the danger of being a human being. The lines can get blurred between objective reality and perception because of how our nature is. We repeat things so many times, reality becomes irrelevant. I can tell you right now that you are not you. You will laugh it off the first time, the second time, third time, fourth time. But if I take a span of 5 years telling you that you are not you, every single chance I get, you are not you, you are not you. I even invest billions of rands, billions of dollars, hire scientists, neuroscientists to convince you that you're not you. Do you know that there's a very high likelihood that you will start believing you're not you? Because you are an awareness. And the moment I come and cause conflict with that awareness, then you stop being aware. So you're not necessarily the body, but you're the mind, which is an awareness, a presence. You're an existence, constantly vibrating. That's why you have crazy people who don't even know who they are. Because they are not the physical, but they are the metaphysical. So now coming back to programming. Eyes, being an interface that allows us to perceive the outer reality. We don't see the same things, you know that. People who are under the influence of certain drugs, they don't see things the way you see them. They may look at that tree and they may see something else. People who are colorblind may look at something and see something completely different to what I see, right? People with certain eye deficiencies, astigmatism, or other eye problems, they see things differently. That's what I'm saying, that your reality is yours alone. Hence, you are the matrix. So the eyes are the first point of reference. And then you have the ears, because that's how you hear. So all the senses are ways for you to access the outer space or for the outer space to access you. Depends how you look at it. So the eyes is what you see. The ears is what you hear. Your hands is what you touch. Your tongue is what you taste. Your nose is what you smell.
So for me, with regards to the senses, so how I look at it is that you cannot hear, you cannot see.
Yes.
It's like your eyes are sending electric vibrations to your brain, and your brain is decoding.
Interprets, yes.
Those
So it depends on your brain's interpretation.
Yes.
And then you understand that. That's why I'm saying crazy people are the best explanation. You see? Yes, there is a general way that we all interpret, and therefore we see things the same. But then there are instances, many instances, where we don't interpret the same. You literally don't see what the other person sees. You don't hear what the other... People who hear voices, man, explain that. They hear voices and they're the only ones who hear them.
It's like when someone calls your name, you can hear it,
yes.
but I might not be able to hear it.
Yes, you go in a place, fully crowded place, and someone calls your name, my brother, you'll hear it from the first instance. Huh? Because there's a particular part of your brain that's activated. Your brain is able to filter, you see, selectively filter and know what's important to you. Anyway, let me go back. Programming. So now, whatever interacts with these portals, your ears, your eyes, your mouth, your hands, your body, your hair, these are portals to you as an awareness. Because if you can't feel like you're touching the ground, and you can't see that this is the ground or this is grass, then you are not aware that this is grass. And therefore, you are not in that moment. Because awareness is being in the moment. That's why people who lose their memory, they live in the past. They remember things only happened in the past because they've lost any other, or they lose their memory of the past. They don't understand the past. So you an awareness. Now, what's the best way to control someone? Through these senses, through what they see, smell, taste, hear. Nicely so, you have television, the black screen in front of you. You have cellular phones, the black screen in front of you.
Tell a vision.
Or tell a lie. Now, television, what it does, it interacts with your visualistic or graphic perspective, right? And you keep on receiving all that information. Think about it, if you constantly receive negativity on television, what's going to happen to your brain? It gets accustomed to that. It gets desensitized to that. And it starts to filter that into the important side of things, because that's what you see. Hence, when you watch the news, it's rare to see positive stuff. When you watch music videos, it's very rare to see positive stuff being promoted. When you watch films, they all tell the same story. Oh, there's going to be a pandemic. Oh, there's going to be a war. Oh, an apocalypse. Oh, this and that. Whatever agenda is what you see. Oh, love and romance. Oh, I love this person. Oh, Valentine's. Rubbish. It's all in there and it goes into your brain. It affects your brain in such that your brain keeps on packaging all this data, and you get desensitized, you get accustomed to it, and you even start to practice some of those things because the subconscious mind keeps on receiving this information and storing these images. But the subconscious mind works a lot with images, and some of this this thing you watch on TV, there's music that goes with it, and music appeals to your emotions. It can manipulate your how you feel. There's music that can make you excited. There's music that can make you sad, melancholic music. There's music that can make you bored. And music coupled with these images speaks to your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind stores these images. That's why when...
That can make you kill people.
Absolutely, it activates certain parts of your brain. That's why when you see in movies, you see black people acting certain characters that are all about crime. And that's how the world perceives black people, criminals. And very, 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 very few people are actually criminals in this world, let alone in a specific demographic. Very few people are criminals. Majority of people are not criminals. But because of what's being put out there, then the world perceives that. And the next thing, black people are perceived as being cool, being entertainers, and the whole world perceives that, right? Africa is perceived as being the place with animals. Have you seen a lion in your life, my brother, since we're in Africa?
A lion?
I've never seen a lion, you know. And I'm in South Africa, we have the big five.
Nah, man, but I've seen some monkeys, gorillas.
Baboons. I've seen baboons as well. You see, but my point is that this is not the Lion King. There are lions, obviously. It's good to see them. It's good to interact with them. But then they're somewhere in some yard, locked up by some government agency.
And are being hunted.
And being hunted by Americans. By Americans primarily. They come here to kill our animals. Anyway, my point is, when people think of Africa, they think of the jungle. And that's fine, man, you know. But the jungle is just in one part of Africa, central region to West Africa. We don't have the jungle in South Africa. We don't have a jungle. We have savannas, we have fynbos, we have the Karoo, the Nama Karoo, the different biomes. But we don't have a jungle. We do have forests, yes. So, but then the perception comes from those visual interactions that Americans and the rest of the world have based on their movies and their videos, right? That's just an example. So, if I want to manipulate how you view things, I can just play you a nice movie and another one and another one. Nice music video and another one and another one. That's what you see. And then what you hear now is your music, your podcasts, your radio. If I can have influence over what you hear, then I can manipulate what you believe, right? There's a verse that says faith comes from hearing and hearing and hearing. What that tells you is that when you keep on hearing something, you start believing in it. You have faith in it. Whether it's true or false, it becomes irrelevant at some point.
But for me, I think it's not only about hearing, it's also about not hearing some things.
Absolutely. The negative is true as well. and not seeing some things as well. You see, because you see black people as criminals, but you don't see them as heroes. Or you see a black person as a nice guy in an apocalyptic film. He's a nice guy, he can't even fight for himself. You don't see him as the alpha in the group, you see. So seeing and not seeing are equally effective. Hearing and not hearing are equally effective, and they're usually used together. Now, another portal to how people are programmed is tasting, right, and smelling. And these two usually go together. Think about it, man. You have KFC. They have a way of producing a particular smell that will appeal to your brain that you need to taste that, right? If I can manipulate how these dangerous foods that are not even healthy for you, I can manipulate their smell and their taste using chemicals, and I make them smell nice using chemistry, and I make them taste nice. They're not necessarily good for you, but I can get you to buy them and hook you on them through these chemical manipulations. You see now, that's the taste and the smell part, right? And pleasure as well, man. Pleasure. It's easy to use pleasure to manipulate people. And a lot of this programming is based on that. Pleasure, using video games and providing escapisms, right? People who have poor social skills are unable to build meaningful relationships in their lives. I can just provide them with a virtual alternative. They don't have to actually go out there and talk to people. They can just play video games and be heroes in their video games. Whereas they can't even form a relationship with the woman they want in their lives. They can't even form a relationship with the men they want. Pornography, it's available in abundance. Why? Why is pornography available in abundance? Why is pornography free of charge?
I think it's the issue of instant gratification.
Programming. Because if I can program you to access everything that I know is especially going to be dangerous for you in the long run, then I can get you hooked and I can easily control you. Instant gratification is a manifestation of that. Young people, young men, boys, teenagers who are curious and don't know much about, their bodies and how to interact with the other gender, they can just go online, watch pornography, and they get confused. Because we know pornography is not real at all. It's complete garbage. Those people are acting. They couldn't be concerned about your sexual health at all. They are there for the money. A lot of them have problems in their families. They have problems in their lives. They're trying to settle some debts. They're just acting, man. They take chemicals, pills, and all this other stuff that they use so that they can do what they need to do. But then that young boy, 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16-year-old, 17-year-old, doesn't know that. He thinks that's how things should be done. And he gets depressed because he can't do that. He can't do that. He can barely understand himself. He's trying to match up with some pornography guy. Young ladies don't even know how to do some of those things, you see. So these are tools, man, that are used. Pleasure at your fingertips. You just have to press a button. Pleasure yourself. You don't even have to go and form a relationship with the person. And it produces this high level of dopamine, which messes up with your brain. Because dopamine will get you feeling good for a moment. But then for you to reach that same level of dopamine, the next time you have to do more. It's like drugs. It is drugs, in fact. You take an injection of whatever drug. I don't know, man. I don't do drugs. But you put it in your body. You achieve a certain high. The next time you want to achieve that high, in the long run, you'll have to triple the dose. Quadruple the dose. Same thing with these things of pornography. After 5 years being in pornography, you can't even be attracted to an individual sexually just by talking to them and interacting with them. You have to watch some crazy thing first. People get married, they have problems in their marriages because they can't connect with real human beings. With real human beings because of what they see on these screens, on their cell phones, their computers, laptops, televisions. And there's nothing wrong with using cell phones, computers, and all these portals. But then when you're not the one curating the content that you interact with, then there's a problem. Because anyone could be in charge of that. And if your downfall benefits me, I'll make sure that you fall down very, very hard. So now the problem is now, people are being programmed to be consumers. Not just by buying, but by not doing anything productive. People are being programmed to be consumers, and consumerism breeds poverty. People are programmed into poverty in many, many, many ways. Some people are afraid of taking some certain actions in their lives because they've been programmed that if you do this, then this is good enough for you, right? You don't have to be this. You can just stay here in the middle. Don't aim too high because of what they see a lot of the times of the circle or whatever they interact with on their devices, right? So poverty now is a very broad issue. It's not just about not being able to feed yourself. You can have all the money in the world and still be poor, because poverty is a holistic concept in and of itself. The greatest inventors, scientists, they suffered a lot based on certain areas that lacked in their lives. You have a health aspect, you have a relationship aspect, you have an element, a spiritual aspect, you have a financial aspect, right? You have a family aspect. All these are important aspects of your life. You can have all the money and have no family, no one who loves you, no one who's loyal to you, no one who's dedicated to you. You love nobody. You don't have a dog, you don't have a cat. You just have money, and all you know is to work, 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 work. That's a poor life, and it's poorly lived, right?
I think one of the causes is
comfortability.
Yeah.
And
like
yeah.
to be comfortable.
Yes, true.
Even when you check the beds we sleep in, the chairs we sit on,
like we're no longer warriors, man.
it makes you want to sit longer. Unlike in the old days when you used to sleep on the floor, and then it forces you to get
to
up
wake up.
Your body is in pain.
To wake up and actually live.
Yeah.
Live your life. Because that's the problem now. People are not living, they're outsourcing their lives to someone else. People are not cooking for themselves, they're outsourcing the cooking to someone else. People are not delivering stuff for themselves, they're outsourcing it to someone else. People don't even want to gym, man. People who want to lose weight, they'd rather buy something that's going to vibrate. You see those things that you see on TV? It's going to vibrate and burn the fat. It doesn't work. You have to do the work. You can't outsource everything. And that's the problem with this type of programming that we're under. We're being programmed to let go of all authority on our lives. That's why the Economic Forum, the Klaus Schwab World Economic Forum, they always say, you will own nothing and you'll be happy. Already, man, people are not raising their children. People are not cooking for themselves. People are not growing their food on their own. People are not creating their own clothing. They don't even have their own style.
They don't have land.
They don't have nothing. That's why the World Economic Forum says you'll own nothing and you'll be happy about it. It's already happening. It's not for the future, it's now. Think about it, man. We don't even go to hunt. You can't hunt some species of birds because it's endangered somewhere. Who endangered it? Who endangered that species? It's probably the government giving licenses to some creeps and perverts to come and kill our animals when historically we used to kill what we needed to eat. You can't go to the forest somewhere, build some conservation area. Hey, humans are not allowed. You see, you are not in charge. We are not in charge. We're being programmed. And we're being programmed and pushed into this submissive state of acquiescence. Acquiescence. We relegate all authority and responsibility of our lives to some government, to some corporation, to some agency. We don't want to do anything anymore for ourselves. Our beds are comfortable, our chairs are comfortable, our clothes are comfortable, our cars are comfortable, everything is comfortable. Even the chairs in the car, they massage you and they warm you. You must be comfortable. You shouldn't face any difficulty. You shouldn't face any problems. When you suffer, you must blame someone else. Hey, you will continue suffering. You will be a slave. You will be controlled by someone else because you've relegated all that authority and responsibility of your life into someone else. That's why kids nowadays don't even listen to parents. Kids don't even have a culture because their parents don't want to raise them. They send them to school. I know I'll buy you all the uniform and all the stationery you need, but I'm not going to raise you. Parents don't want to raise their children anymore.
Giving your child to the beast.
Man, who designed that curriculum? Do they know your culture? Do they know your values? When was it designed? How is it going to serve you and your family and your bloodline? These are the kind of things that people don't want to talk about. And when you talk about them, they see you as weird and as crazy. Oh, my brother, you'll go crazy when you talk about such stuff. All you must talk about is fun and pleasure. Pleasure is the danger, man. Pleasure is a bomb, actually. a ticking time bomb that is used to keep us under control and under programming. We're being programmed with what we eat, what we wear, what we smell like, how we perceive beauty, how we perceive ourselves. Man, you're being programmed, that's it.
Do you know that many of the billionaires that we have actually don't have a degree?
Yes, no, they don't. Actually, a lot of them are not even your cool type of guy. They are not likable people at all. You see, they are very weird guys who had some idea to do something. Some of them didn't even invent the technologies. They didn't even invent. They just found a loophole on how to profit off from it. Your Elon Musk's. People think Elon Musk, is designing spaceships, blah, blah. Man, do some history. Do some research on who founded SpaceX and Tesla. Do some research on who founded Microsoft, who founded Facebook. You realize that a lot of these guys didn't even found those companies, but they were smart enough to take over. They were smart enough to license and have rights over this and over that. And that's how the world is. And what they do, because they own these big technologies, they will fund what you see on your phone. They will fund what you see on your TV to keep you dumb. Imagine if there's 5 billion, a billion people who say what I'm saying. Just think about it. If there's a billion people who are saying what I'm saying, a billion people who are thinking for themselves, a billion people who want to be completely independent from anyone, because that's our divine purpose, to live your life as an individual. I don't care where you are. You could be in Asia, you could be in the Americas, you could be in Europe. You have to be completely independent and live your life. Why should your life be controlled by some government? Why should someone else decide what's good for you, what you should eat, what you should wear, what you should put in your body? And if you don't put it, then you're a danger to society. So programming, my brother, is very deliberate. This is not a coincidence. It's a very deliberate move, and it's collective, right? You may think these are opposing sides. They are not opposing sides. It's controlled opposition. You may think, okay, this side, these are the good guys and these are the bad guys. There's no such a thing as good and bad. It's the same. They all exist in one.
And people are programmed to even hate themselves.
My brother.
Like they're killing each other.
Yes.
Killing your brother.
Yes.
And you don't see that you're actually hating yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're programmed.
You're programmed. You're programmed to see that one as the enemy. Yeah. To see that one as the enemy. Whereas the reality is that you are both experiencing life together on earth. People don't even have time to think about the very serious things. Huh? We've got pyramids, man. We've got underground cities. We've got huge structures that are not normal. Very, very abnormal stuff that people don't even have time to find out. Why are these things here? Why are these things here? Why are we here? What's happening? They tell you now there's five continents. Are there really 5 continents? These are the kind of questions that people don't have time to think about because they're being bombarded with nonsensical garbage that is not even relevant for those people's lives. But it's how you keep people programmed.